and my daughter and my in-laws, they're taking a trip.
Good morning, everyone. We will just give it a little more time. People are still signing on this morning. We'll go ahead and get started here at about 3 or 4 after. I still see people still trying to sign in. A few more minutes and we'll get started. All right, we can go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for joining the meeting today. Some of you are returning from other webinars, some are newcomers. So I want to thank the returning guests to this. And then for those who have not been on any webinars or met me officially, my name is Sean Mantell. I am the owner and applications engineer of PowerSafe Automation. PowerSafe Automation just went into its 10th year. We're a turnkey machine guarding solutions company that focuses on the assessment, custom design, manufacturing, assembly, all the way through the nationwide installation and integration. So everything that we talk about on the webinars is focused around engineering the safety. We're not an administrative company where we get into lockout, tagout training, signs, things of that nature. We're focusing on the machine guarding side of things. And this webinar is going to be based on the assessment side of things. So I'm going to turn off my camera and share my screen with the PowerPoint, and we will go ahead and get going. Throughout the PowerPoint, there is someone managing the chat. If you have some questions, you could drop them in the chat. There'll be some time at the end for Q&A. And then if you want a sidebar afterwards, whether it's after the call or to schedule a time beyond with another Teams meeting, we can certainly do that. So turning off the camera and we will get going. Everybody should be able to see my screen. So the PowerPoint is going to go through stuff related to engineering. That's who we are. We feel like to really protect our people in a manufacturing environment, we need to do as much with engineering to take the human thought process out of it, not just rely on signs and training and trust. So that's what a lot of this is focused on today. We do other webinars, which I will mention here towards the end for anybody that's interested in joining the others, but that's just a little bit on who we are. So today's presentation is going to be based on a machine safety toolkit. This is a brand new webinar that we just created. Really, it's to help identify, prioritize, and act before the audit. So everything going through here is going to be tools that you can use to help when you're looking at assessing, auditing, where am I at, where do I start? Really, the reason we created these tools and the webinar is to share these with you, helping you create a starting point with your machine guarding. Really easy to get lost in too much information. This can help move the conversation from we know we have issues, we know we have gaps, we have we now have an official plan that we can just start with. And it's not, well, we know we've got to guard some machines. I don't know where to start. Now these tools will help you at least give you some visibility into where to look, how to put things in order. So that's what today is going to be focused on. As I mentioned, engineered controls, what we're trying to do is isolate people from the hazard. So as we go through this, that's the lens you're going to be looking through. You're going to be looking through the microscope at a machine, assuming you can't trust anybody to read the sign, or they didn't see the sign, or they were trained enough, or they've ran that machine or that part before. So that's the lens you're going to look through. Focusing on engineered solutions really makes it hard when people try to use the compliance word. Compliance as it relates to administrative controls isn't something that we're going to discuss today. As I mentioned, engineered solutions is where you want to go. You can't get 100% compliant with engineered solutions on legacy machines unless you're introducing robots, no-touch tools, something where you can't physically go inside that barrier. So to be fully compliant, then you're bringing in some administrative controls, some trust of the operators going to do the right thing there, that they've been trained properly. the machine is going to act the way it's supposed to. I hear a lot of, well, that's compliant and people should just follow the rules. Well, minimum requirements require a higher level of operator trust. So this toolkit should help guide you through some of this. The Machine Safety Toolkit that we've created is a set of tools designed to help create awareness of where are your hazards, something to identify quickly. If you walk up to a machine, it might be white noise. You might be something that you took for granted. Hey, I've been running this all these years, and I didn't even think that was a hazard because I never got hurt on it. So this helps create a little bit of that optics of what my machine's doing. Helps you prioritize your risks. You can't do everything at once. If you try to go through and say, I'm going to guard my entire facility, it could be a pretty big price tag. You got to do it in chunks, and this will help, and it'll help you start a plan. What I want to make sure that everybody understands, the intent is to provide support for awareness, planning, and internal discussions. This is a guide to use as a snapshot. It doesn't replace professional guarding assessments, risk assessments, but it can help reduce surprises that are identified in an audit. If you hire someone to come in and do an assessment, well, I didn't even think that was a hazard, or I got sticker shock, or really, you're looking over there. Why are we looking at this instead of that? When I walk through facilities, a lot of customers will mention, well, if you see anything else, let me know. This toolkit helps create that visibility, helps organize that chaos into a controlled action, and then show you what good looks like or starts to look like. It helps to move from uncertainty to a plan start reducing audit stress. There really is to summarize everything we just talked about is where do I begin? I don't even know how to begin. I don't know where to start. And I'm going to be really stressed when the auditor gives me a list of everything that I have to do. And I was either blind to it, or I should have caught that before. I need to be a little bit more proactive in the future. And this helps you with that. When and where to use these toolkits. Any industry that's manufacturing, assembling, packaging products, if you've got moving parts, if you're turning chips, if you're wrapping packages, pretty much any manufacturing facility, even warehouses, need guarding for forklift traffic, wrapping machines, they're wrapping pallets. So just about any industry, these toolkits can be used for. Facilities with legacy equipment, regardless of if they came in before or after inception of OSHA, needs this. Don't assume if it's after OSHA started, your machine is properly guarded. Manufacturers don't send in machines that are fully guarded to today's standards. They don't know how the machine's being used. They don't know how you're going to modify it. They don't want the risk. They also don't know how you're going to use it, and it makes it hard to design the guarding around your operation. So I hear a lot, well, it came from the manufacturer this way, so we should be good. That is a false statement. They're going to put the bare minimum on it. They're going to put some signs on it, and they're going to say, okay, it's yours now. You need to make sure that you basically guard it from where we got you to the next level. So no matter the age, you need to make sure you guard your machines or looking for that exposure. If it's an open exposure, don't assume the manufacturer left it open for a reason. So no matter the age of the equipment, there is no grandfather clause on that. So the practical components in this toolkit are we're going to talk about 6 different tools. And we're going to put them in order on how we believe you should use them. And again, this is basically a free assessment from a professional assessment company. If you ask us to come in and do a guarding assessment and give you solutions, and you want to do some homework before we come in, this is what these tools would be used for. If you want to self-audit, if you want to audit once a year, just to make sure that, hey, we guarded this a year ago, and we want to check ourselves. That's what all of these tools are going to be. First one's going to be a machine guarding gap checklist, and we'll go through each one of these. A machine guarding priority matrix, risk reduction ROI planner, machine safety self-assessment scorecard, machine safety strategy guide, machine guarding preventive maintenance checklist. Everyone will be receiving a PDF version of each of these that you can save on your computer, print off, put on a tablet for going around and doing your audits. However you want to use them, you'll be getting a copy of this after the webinar, along with a copy of this PowerPoint, and then a link to the video recording from today as well. Basically, this is following this order or sequence, helps you discover the risk, determine what matters most, secure support, build a plan, execute it, and maintain it. And it's this flow right here helps you achieve that. So on the first one, the machine guarding gap checklist, this is basically a check sheet to help you quickly identify missing or inadequate guarding. What you're going to do is you're going to walk around like you're an inspector and auditor. You're not solving problems here. You're just identifying. You're not saying, well, someone can reach your hand in there, so let's start designing the guarding. You're jumping ahead too far. Just it can be overwhelming to walk up and say, what am I going to do? And how am I going to fix this? And do I need to put a safety switch on it? Do I need to do, let's just figure out what the gaps are so that we can create that plan. Because you may come up to a hazard that you want to take care of first, or a machine that you want to take care of first. So let's just identify what are the hazards and move to the next machine. And what are those hazards? Focus on point of operation, nip points, rotating components, access zones. This and more link. If you go to our website, there is a ton of blogs, guides, case studies, galleries of photos, links to our YouTube channel of videos, a lot of information that helps you understand what is a nip point, what are all the different types of hazards, what do signs look like, what should they look like, what do they say, things like that. So all of that information is on our website. But the first one is go around and just figure out what's wrong, where are your gaps. It could be, again, overwhelming to walk up to a machine and say, well, there's a guard in front of this hazard. In one of our other webinars, we talk about machine guarding with being able to reach around it, climb over it, crawl under it, and reach through it. Just because there's a guard in front of it, don't assume no one's going to try to reach around it. If there's a gap on the side, you need to shore that up so they can't. Because if the opportunity exists, there's an opportunity that operator is going to get hurt. So focus on the gaps. Probably the biggest takeaway on this one, at least the easiest one, is walk up to it and see if you can put your hands where they're not supposed to be, and make sure you don't have any gaps that you're not supposed to have. There's a video on our YouTube page. So that's a video that's on our YouTube page. That's a good handy video. We have a lot of people going to watch that video. A lot of people either have or know what a gotcha stick is. It's a good quick tool to have a gotcha stick, have a notepad or a tablet, and these checklists in the toolkit. That will really help you go a long way with doing your audits in the process. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see all of that on there. And you can show this video in any of your safety meetings that you have, show anybody that they're going to be helping you with any of these audits. But I believe that is a good start. Next one's going to be the priority matrix. Simple way to rank machines based on severity, exposure, probability. Don't treat all machines equally. Think in terms of priority buckets. You see this acronym RRPP. We've coined it as a risk reduction prioritization program. So also be thinking about, instead of how do I get compliant, if you're looking at engineered solutions, think of it in terms of risk reduction. How am I going to reduce this risk on this machine? I know I'm not going to be perfect, because if you try to be perfect and be 100% risk-free, you'll never start. A lot of people, they will wait until they have the perfect plan and they never do anything. So think of it as, if I do a little bit, I can reduce my risk. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another round. So think of it as putting this into priorities or buckets. The checklist will help you with that, to give you that score. And then we like to do a green, yellow, red on where those should be placed in. An auditor, depending on who you get, if OSHA does come in, they may tell you colors and charts and lists are great, but if you're out of compliance, you're out of compliance. However, in practicality, everything most likely isn't going to be able to be done at once. So take what you're perceiving as highest risk, prioritize that with this matrix, and then build a plan to execute those, so you can at least make the positive movements on creating a safer workplace. So there's another video. That's just a quick video that we have on our YouTube channel. Again, sometimes to sum up everything that it is talked about, you can show your people on your safety team, operators, whoever, all of those videos that we have. If you can educate them internally, that's all free content out there for you guys to use and share to help improve where you guys are at today. It's just another tool for you guys to utilize internally. The next one is going to be the Risk Reduction ROI Planner. It's a tool used to justify safety investments with financial clarity. Think of it as an investment. You're investing in your machines, your people, your business. It's not an expense. There's debates that people will say, well, this is going to cost me money and it's going to impact my bottom line. Well, initially, it'll drop your net profit if you add machine guarding, because it's not going to make money like a widget. But if someone gets hurt, that's going to drastically reduce your bottom line. So a lot of companies need to be thinking in terms of, this is an investment, that this is just a cost of doing business. Is we have a responsibility to our people to invest in safety. Helps estimate the cost versus the benefit of risk reduction measures, of which measure you're going to use. translates safety improvements into business value and ROI, supports prioritization based on impact and return, and injury cost avoidance. What's the downtime going to cost me? Productivity improvements, compliance, risk reduction, just a number of them. Don't get hung up on finding perfect numbers. Again, these are just ballparks to help build the plan. The goal of the ROI planner is help you with decision making. It helps you focus on the decision making. For gathering these costs, you're going to have different people that pull the values, such as injury costs are going to come from HR, downtime, probably your operations manager, scrap costs, maybe your quality manager, things of that nature. So have your team help you with these costs. And Google could be a good tool if you want to ask us for a little bit of input. If HR needs to reach out, if there's a webinar on OSHA fines or medical costs, if you know your workers' compensation, you could call your insurance company. But these will help you gather these numbers for this planner. Why you would run this? Safety projects often compete against other CapEx projects. So you have to be able to justify, I guess, if you want to call it. I don't like to justify safety guarding, but if they say we have to put this machine in, so we have to wait on this machine guarding, then at least you can have some justification of here's what it's going to cost. Here's what it's going to do for us if we do this. It also allows you to compare the cost of upgrades versus the value of the machine. If it's going to cost you $20,000 to add safety to a machine and the machine is $5,000, maybe you have to buy a new machine or shift the work to a different machine. If it's on a manual machine, maybe it gets shifted over to a CNC machine. It allows you to have those conversations. So it's not just black and white of I'm going to fill out the checklist and it's going to build my plan for me. It actually stimulates conversation amongst everybody and gets the thought processes going on, okay, well, I didn't think of this. I didn't think of that. I assume this. That's what these tools help you with. Greatest ROI is a safer workplace for your employees. That's why I say I don't like to say justify. But in business, real world is you still got to make product or you don't have a business. So, but we need to make sure that we're conscious of it's got to be a safe environment for our people. This next one's going to be a self-assessment scorecard. This is a scoring system to evaluate overall safety maturity of your programs. Score categories, do I have complete guarding? Do I have a control? What's my functional safety look like? Do I have the documentation for this machine? Do I have schematics? Do I have drawings? If I need to have replacement parts, do I have that? What are the practices for preventive maintenance on my machine? Do I have that? Am I checking the guarding? This will help you with that. So this tool appears to be the similar or the same as the priority matrix. Priority matrix evaluates the machines and the individual hazards, helps you determine where you're going to spend your next dollar. Which machine do I do first? This scorecard helps you determine the maturity of your safety program. Do we have a machine safety strategy? Do we how current are the assessments? Have we done our stop time measurements on the machines lately? Do we have a preventive maintenance program or a process, and is it being followed? So it helps you assess the program, and the matrix helps you assess the machine. So this is a good tool just to do some double checks, some gut checks. Are we taking it seriously? Are we doing what we're supposed to, or are these just staying in the file until something happens? Next one's going to be a strategy guide. Simple roadmap, identifying the hazards, ranking the risks, implementing input side protection, which is going to be for the input side, it's going to be put up the guarding, put up safety switches, light curtains, scanners, whatever's whatever's going to block the person from the hazard is what the input side is. That's where you're going to, most people start with that because they would rather trust the functional safety of a machine before they trust the human to make the right decision. Certainly still want to be looking at the output side and your functional safety as a totality, but reducing the risk by reducing the thought process from the operator, less decisions to make, is where most people start. Plan functional safety upgrades after that then. That's going to give you your long-term reliability. So remove your risk or reduce your risk first, and then you look at, okay, now I'm going to have long-term, I'm going to have longevity on this machine. So now I'm going to look at my functional safety. If you want to do the whole machine at once, that is a lot of people do that. The only thing that I caution you on is if you try to do one machine at a time, is that your highest risk? Are you keeping others or other machines exposed while you're focusing on this one? Or do you go through and you manage all of the NIPS, all of the in-running hazards, the crush zones, and get those taken care of and then come back? So there's multiple ways to look at this. This will help you transform the collection of the data of all the other tools in the toolkit to get you to what's your strategy to execute this. Then we've got the PM checklist. This machine safety isn't static. This is more of a best practice. It's really not required like having to do audits, making sure I did a stop time distance check to make sure that the light curtains are in the right spot. Did I fill all the gaps? This is to make sure that you've got longevity on your machine guarding. We all rotate our tires, we change our oil, we tighten belts, we grease bearings, because we want longevity out of our car or our motors on our machines. Why wouldn't we do that with guarding? So this is just another one. Guards get bumped, switches wear, cables get damaged. Maybe they become unsecured because the guard got hit or snagged on something. Brakes on a machine wear out, which means it maybe stops slower. If you have a timer that says don't open my door for 10 seconds, well, maybe today your machine stops in 13 seconds because over the last few years it wore out. Machines evolve, and when you add components, add fixturing to it, maybe things aren't double checked again. So you want to make sure that you're doing some sort of preventive maintenance. Machine that was safe 5 years ago isn't automatically safe today. That's why inspections, stop time measurements, PM, periodic validations are critical in sustainability for your safety programs. How to use this toolkit. So that was a lot of information we just went over in the last half hour. It could be overwhelming, but hopefully not as overwhelming as standing at a machine and saying, where do I begin? Now you have some tools to help you begin. To utilize this, go in order, go through this sequence. I'm going to identify gaps. I'm not going to prioritize it. I'm not going to try to justify it so I can put my CapEx budget in it. I'm not going to create my plan. I'm not going to fix anything on machine. I just want to know what the gaps are. And now I have to prioritize it. I can't start doing my ROI if I don't prioritize what I'm going to do. And then you can start justifying it. And then do your scorecard of what does my whole program look like, to make sure that if I do this, am I going to keep up with it? And then build that strategy. And then you can build your PM around that plan. You may turn in your CapEx at the ROI stage, and then start working on your scorecard to make sure that hey, I'm going to keep up with this. And then here's my strategy. Your strategy may have to be part of your justification when you're going for your CapEx. But do things in this order so you're not overwhelmed by trying to do too much at once. So recommendations on this. This is a starting point. And if you're anything like me, once the classroom portion is over, the next question is, what do I do with this information? My recommendation is take the toolkit, get it in your hands, and go practice with it. It doesn't have to be your solution. You don't have to spend money at this point. Go to CapEx for approvals. Do this toolkit. From this, wrap your head around what we just talked about, practice with it so that everything starts to make sense, and then it can become a routine. You get a new machine in, you buy an old machine, an existing machine that hey, that's been sitting over there for a while. You may plug a machine back in that's not been running for a couple of years. It becomes second nature if you get used to this. So my recommendation would be to go through this. Don't worry about getting everything perfect on the first round. The goal is to start the conversation. Look at your machines through a different lens than you may be looking through today. Begin identifying opportunities that may have been unnoticed. Maybe it's white noise. Maybe you were the operator, now you're in safety, and you would have thought it was a hazard because you didn't get hurt. But if you step back and say, that's not how I ran that machine, that person's going to get hurt if we don't do something there. That's what practicing with this will give you. Practice makes perfect. It'll give you that opportunity to start building that plan so that you have a stronger scorecard and a strategy every time you have to look at what am I going to do with this safety situation. Working through this toolkit, it will help reinforce what you've learned today, hopefully developing that stronger mindset as you're walking through. And when people say, if you see something I don't, let me know. Hopefully you can walk through with a different line of sight that says, yep, that, this, that. These are going on my checklist. And now I'm going to start figuring out where that lands. Beyond the toolkit, I want to just let you know that you're not alone in this. A lot of people, again, there is so much information on the internet. You can Google, you can change your search term to give you a different answer. There's multiple answers. There's multiple perspectives. There could be gray areas when you read an OSHA regulation or an ANSI standard. It could be like, well, there's some gray in there. I'm not sure I know how to interpret that. How can we help? We can help from the start to the end. Everything is under one roof. We have TUV certified engineers that understand the standards, what you need. We've got experienced engineers that have been in the market, not just in safety, but they've been machine operators in the past, machinists in the past, understand how the machines run, where the risks would be, and then now looking at it through that lens from a safety perspective, we can help you with those pain points, applying all of these methods. So these toolkits are just a starting point to create that awareness, not the end solution. Like to couple that with, we do have more webinars that we do. This is just one. This is one piece of the puzzle. We have machine guarding for risk reduction. We do functional safety webinars. We do a webinar on 3D safety radars. You can find all of this information at our website under the resources dropdown. If you go to training for machine safety, you'll see upcoming webinars that we are hosting. We've got one next week on the safety radars. And then in July, we've got the machine guarding and the functional safety ones scheduled as a replay. They're all live, but we will run them again for anybody that's either missed them or wants a refresher, or they want to bring in their team now that they've been through it and they believe that there's value to them. They bring in their team, maybe bring in an operator that is part of your safety team. So these webinars, we do these every month or two, just as you saw today. And then if you need help from a whole entire turnkey process, we do the guarding assessments, which helps solidify your toolkits. If you utilize the toolkits and then contact us or whoever that professional assessment company is, they could come in. Hey, I went through these toolkits. Here are my thoughts. Or you hold them and see what the assessment pulls, and then kind of compare notes. It can be a collaborative approach, and then we can produce the custom tailored designs for the findings of the assessment. And then if you move forward with that, then we do all of the manufacturing and assembly at our facility. And then the installation and integration, we have field crews with trucks and trailers, basically a mobile shop that we send out with both the mechanics and the electricians or controls engineers. And then we can help with preventive maintenance, either to get you set up with spare parts that you may set up in your maintenance department, the checklist that we talked about, or if you want us to help you with doing the preventive maintenance checks for you, we can help you with any of these within this cycle. And then if you want to go to our website and read up on our staff, we have bios on myself, our engineers, our field crew, so you can go and check them out if that is of interest to you. And then this shows you just a handful, a very small handful. We do thousands of guard. We've done thousands of guarding projects over the years, from just putting stuff on lathes and mills, shop presses, all the way up to full enclosures, sound enclosures, perimeter guards, point of operation guards, and everywhere in red we have done installations, active quoting. In most of the other states, there's not a whole lot of manufacturing when you look at what's in the rest of the country, but you can see that we're located Northeast Indiana, but we support the entire United States, as you can see by the map here. Web address, YouTube channel. We're on LinkedIn actively every day, posting information, a variety of topics. So you're not getting posting fatigue of seeing the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's engaging content that you would see. And then we can also schedule exclusive webinars with your team. If that's something that you've got a group, I've been a guest speaker at EHS meetings virtually. We can talk about if you want to do on-site seminars or vendor days, vendor expos. We've looked at that as well. So a lot of tools we can help you out with. But the goal of today was get you set up with a set of tools to empower you a little bit more, to educate you a little bit more from a safety perspective of knowing how to identify and figuring out where to begin, so you're not crippled by too many decisions that you just do nothing. So hopefully this was helpful and engaging for you guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up to any Q&As for myself for a few minutes before we log off. And then beyond that, looks like I might be able to give you a few minutes of your day back. So I will go ahead and see if anybody has any questions. I want to thank everybody for joining today. Does it look like anybody has any initial questions? I will go ahead and get out the toolkits, the video of the PowerPoint. I understand there wasn't any sound on the couple videos I played. I will send those links from our YouTube channel so that you can watch those videos. Those were helpful. And then any questions that you have, any projects you may have coming up, certainly reach back out to me. And hopefully there's something we can help you with in the future. So I'll give you about 15 minutes of your day back. And again, thank you for joining today, and hope to see you at future webinars.